Lots of fun. All right, here we go. Episode 2 of How Minds Change with Andy MacArthur and Alastair Hill, myself. So we got like half an hour to chat about change work and all that kind of stuff. I don't know about you, Andy, but did you have anything in mind you wanted to talk about today? Like, because I always have a million ideas. So, but I'm wondering, prior to this call, did you like have anything in your mind? You were like, let's discuss this today.
I think I had coffee in my mind.
Is that right?
Oh, coffee changes my state. Caffeine changes my state.
Right. The 9 a.m. coffee
9
hit.
I mean, we're talking about before we came on. You know, I am a night owl.
Uh-huh.
To who? And this is just, barbaric.
Right. This is like some kind of torture I'm putting Andy through every single one of these.
My bed, beating with a stick.
Yeah.
It's good. I feel that's good. No. I'm as always, I'm very happy to be led and guided by you, Al.
Okay. All right, cool. So I've been playing around with some stuff recently, exploring some stuff, and maybe we could get into some exercises or some explanations of things, which maybe would be helpful for people, either people who are interested in the profession of change, who help people to change, and maybe people who themselves are like on the journey interested in self-change. You know, there might be some things there that people find useful and interesting. And one distinction that I got from Stephen Gilligan that I want to share and just see what you make of it, because for me, this distinction is so important for so much stuff when it comes to helping people to change, helping people to change kind of successfully, if you like, without adding more stress to the system. Because there are some changes people make and they add stress to the system, right? People are going like, people are going on a diet. I'm going to diet. I'm going to cut out all sugar or all this or all that. And it's like, they're like, it's this real effort, right? And I'm not saying there's no effort involved in change, but there's like this excessive amount of stress and demands and, control that's going on. And I don't think adding more controlling attitudes and behaviors is a good thing for a long-term recipe for successful change. I don't know what you think about that point.
Totally. I mean, what I was thinking there was, I'm very much into like a little, a lot habit.
Uh-huh.
Well, I'm a big fan of James Clear, the seminal book Atomic Habits. I think that's great. I've been doing stuff like that before, even in recovery work, in AA, a day at a time. So like, you've just got today, or even this morning. So it takes the pressure off. It's like, can you not drink for just this morning and then take a unit? You can apply that to weight loss. Or also like the idea of habit. So one thing I was taught, like the next easiest thing. So way back in the 80s, you're too young, but in the 1980s, the kind of Tony Robbins, like making massive goals. And the subconscious mind, or, it just kind of goes like, no way. Like, let's run 10 miles today. You're not going to do it. As we see up in Scotland, you'll be beat before you're started. But if you kind of go, well, what's the next easiest thing, right? I might stretch if I'm going to go for a run. I'll put my trainers on. And I say to clients, just get over the door and run for or walk for 10 minutes, no more. Well, guess what? Once they're out, they're like, 10 minutes? They'll keep going. So it's that kind of, in a way, a little hacking. If it's easy, we'll do it. Because as human beings, we're lazy and intelligent. So always go for the easiest, laziest way. So that's my take on it. If I can I'll hack people, especially if, with addictions and weight loss, or make it a habit. Because I'm sure, Al, you don't have to have Post-it notes in your mirror going, brush your teeth. or after you've gone to the toilet, wash your hands. We just do it automatically. And that's where I really like to, I think where change is, if it's a habit, if it becomes a habit, you don't think about it, you just do it.
I love that, Andy. Thank you so much for sharing. And that's added like another dimension to what I was going to present, because, yeah, right. And because, yeah, I hadn't looked, what I'm going to share, I hadn't looked at it from like this sort of micro habit, atomic habit kind of perspective, but it really fits, because the distinction I was going to share was the distinction between controlling versus sensing. Okay. And I'll share how this fits maybe with the micro habit thing. So obviously I've got change work in mind. I've got, helping someone to see something differently, to feel something differently. And very often what people do, they kind of get into a controlling relationship. I'll push the feeling down, or I'll distract myself, or I'll argue with myself, and, or I'll make myself do this, or I'll make myself do that. It's very much a kind of a controlling thing. But I find like lasting change comes more from sensing, and more from like sensing where a little bit of movement is, sensing where a little exploration is. It's a learning process, and learning processes involve taking in new information, right? And so you have to be sensing, you have to be like receiving, you have to be learning. Like if you're controlling, you're not learning.
I like that.
Right, you have to be gathering information. And so I love this micro habits idea that you came up with, because like, what's the smallest thing? It's like you're getting people out of a control mindset and more people into like a sensing, oh, maybe I could do this. Maybe this would be the next smallest thing. For me, maybe there's a slight shift towards more of a sensing orientation rather than a controlling orientation. Because if that question, what's the smallest thing you could do then? For me, that I'm sensing now, like, okay, yeah, it'll be this thing, and then things can flow, because now I'm getting out of that controlling kind of place.
I've actually applied this in real life for myself. I recently completed a big counselling qualification, so I'm now a qualified counsellor. And I hadn't been back in education or formal education for many years. And I had to do this big essay, 5,000 words. I was like, oh, and it was hanging over me. And I went, right, the next easiest thing. I thought, start walking the talk, MacArthur, right? So what? Genuinely opened up my MacBook, first thing, press on, word, title. I thought, right, the next easiest thing, I'll just do a paragraph, no more. So I'm tricking my brain. Just do a paragraph. Then I had a coffee. Then I did another paragraph. I had that 5,000 word essay done in less than a day and a half. And it was easy. And when I submitted it to my tutor, he came back and goes, are you sure? Because, by the way, I did it. So I did it, then I started being very forensic, going, I'll just play about and make sure the word's right. I went, it's completely fine, Declan. And he said, you're in, it's 3 weeks early, you're the first in. And he says, please don't tell your colleagues, because it'll really dishearten them. And I'm like, and then I started getting excited. So every assignment I started getting in, it was like, right, next easiest thing. And I'm totally genuine here. It was easy. When before I'd be like, oh my God, I've got to do this. So it works. If you make it ridiculously easy, guess what? You do it. And so you get into the flow. Oh, I'll do that. And then after you look back and go, oh, once I've done about half the assignment, I've got this motivation that I did not have at the beginning. So it's actually it builds up. It's like, what's the word I'm looking for? It builds up momentum. So yeah, I love this kind of stuff because it works.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, Andy. Like, I love this. Next easiest thing. A lot of this stuff is just like simple wisdom, I think.
You know me, I'm a simple guy. It's got to be simple, or
yeah.
I think for me, I just close down.
I'm writing down on my piece of paper right now, next easiest thing. It's going to be my, I'm going to keep it in this phrase in my head for the,
I better give credit for alert. I was taught this by, here I am, a John Overdorf fanboy, right? So I learned it from John, quite a while ago. He teaches this to Toyota. So he does all the coaching for mainly Toyota Europe, Scandinavia, North America, not Japan, I don't think. And the senior engineers were getting really stressed out having to keep producing new engines to make them cleaner and cleaner, electric batteries and hybrids. And he sat them down, and it's like the next easiest thing. And it's transformed them. So this is taught at a high level in business.
Yeah, awesome. So how about I share how I kind of apply this controlling sensing thing to some change work, to the profession of change, to how like you can do an intervention with somebody, and also with yourself. So I use this stuff internally. So I do a lot of like meditation. I do a lot of like internal practices and developments, and I'm an endless explorer. So, I'll do this stuff internally too. And a bit like you saying, hey, I this next easiest thing, I applied it to my essay. I apply all this stuff to myself. I don't expect anyone to do something that I haven't mapped out. So I'll just give you a few examples, okay, of getting people from controlling into sensing and how it applies to like working with emotions or, So a client from some time back, well, this is like last year, and it's some like coronavirus type stress, right? This person was getting very frustrated that they weren't able to see a member of their family that they really wanted to see. And they built all this frustration around it, like because this family member was abroad and they won't be able to fly back and things like this. A lot of frustration. And a lot of the session was about helping them to be more at ease with the current situation, essentially. But a lot of it kind of came back to this frustration they were carrying. They go, and like lots of us, like me, like everybody, they're going to a controlling mindset. They get the frustration, they're controlling, they're planning, how can I, and it's all like, and of course it's a situation you can't do anything about, right? So all this mental energy is going nowhere, and they would be much better off just finding some peace or acceptance with the situation. And the intervention kind of went like this. I said to the person, okay, I said, a word that's coming up to me is the word frustration, like to describe how you feel. And they said, yeah, that fits, right? Frustration. I said, when you have that frustration, like where in your body do you actually feel it? What kind of feeling do you get? And they're like, it's like my butterflies in my stomach, like my stomach is churning. I said, all right. Can we do a really simple exercise? They're like, sure. I said, okay, why don't you just sit up, right? Just notice that frustration. So, and now I want you to just notice your shoulders, and very slowly, I want you just to raise your shoulders as slowly as you can. And I want you just to sense how it feels for your shoulders to lift really slowly. You're going to move them so slowly, you're not sure if you're moving them or if like the muscles are moving themselves. And just see if you can sense every little movement. And just let the shoulders move up until like the movement feels like it wants to finish. There'll be a point where the movement feels like it wants to finish, like they've moved up high enough. And then really slowly, just let them move back down again, really slowly. And just sense them moving back down again. And let them move back down. And let me know when that movement's finished. And they're like, yeah, it's finished. I said, great. I just said, and what are you noticing now? He goes, I'm a lot calmer. I said, right, you're a lot calmer, right? It's not surprising given how I just guided all of that, but right, you're a lot calmer. I said, okay. And when you think about that frustration now, what do you notice? He said, I guess I'm, and it was his word, I guess I'm more accepting of the situation. Right. And what difference does that make? Yeah, I guess I could like put it to bed a bit more in my head, or just sort of get on with things. And, and it was just getting him out of this controlling space. And this shoulder movement was just a very sensitive sensing exercise. Like, it was like he's really having to sense. He's really having to slow down and be in like a sensing space, even though we're not where he's feeling the feeling, we're like in the shoulders instead, but the feeling is going to be everywhere. His whole body's going to be tense as he's doing this, right? But just doing this is just really kind of quite strongly putting him into like a sensing place. And it just allows for change to happen. It just allows for some fresh thinking to happen, allows for some more being at ease to happen. And yeah, I don't know what you make of that as an exercise or an intervention.
Beautiful. That's amazing. Honestly, I was following you. I got quite tranced out there, Al. That's lovely. I love that. I love this stuff you do. It's elegant, but it's so practical. I could imagine myself doing that in the therapy room with somebody with anxiety. And I was like, wow, it's just so great.
Yeah, I've done this quite a bit with like a shoulder lift and rest. And there's other movements you can do, right? But I find the shoulder rise and fall, like a very slow sense of a shoulder rise and fall, to be really useful for a lot of people. There are other movements I'll do with people as well, but like that's I don't do it all the time. I'll use other approaches too, but that can often be a really helpful way in to deal with a difficult feeling. And yeah, some of this stuff I got from Peter Levine. I don't know if you studied Peter Levine at all.
I've read one of his books, yeah.
Right. So he does a lot of like movement stuff, like open and close your jaw, and like some sort of rocking movements and things like this. And I guess I have just taken things from his stuff and just tried to find really concise change work applications in the way that I work.
It reminds me of Feldenkrais as well. Have you heard of Feldenkrais?
Yep.
Yeah, one of my friends is an instructor, and he showed me stuff, and it's very much the same. It's just really slow, breaking it down. Yeah,
I did this with a woman quite recently, with a fear of swimming, and actually, we weren't even in the session to deal with the phobia. I just wanted to demonstrate a way to her of how you can work with a feeling and how you can change a feeling. So I, just the topic, she just sort of said, well, I get anxious around swimming pools. I've been scared of swimming. I said, okay, well, we'll just use that as an example, right? And got her to imagine being at the swimming pool and smelling the water and the feeling of the water on when she's there in the water. And the anxiety comes up. And same thing, we start with a very slow shoulder lift, put shoulders back down again. Right, yeah, feeling more relaxed. And we did another couple of movements. We had one that's like, it's another one I might do. We can do it together. I'll say, okay, just kind of be upright. And I said, and just very slowly, almost like raise your chest a little bit. It's like a very slow, kind of almost like raising of your chest. And until it's gone as far as it wants to go. And then just very slowly, just let the chest just rest back again. It's quite a sensitive one, this. Like there's a lot of sensitive feelings people can get in the center of the chest. Right. So I usually don't do this one first, but like I just say, just very gently, just raise the chest and just sense just the different sensations. And very gently, just let the chest rest back again. because there are a lot of sensitive feelings people can get, like, you know, around this area. And so just very slowly doing a movement and observing the movement, you know, go forwards and backwards, people can start to have some acceptance or ability to be with a sensation. You know, in mindfulness or in certain psychotherapy approaches, people want to get people to observe feelings. You know, just sit with the feeling, this kind of thing. Actually, one thing I found is that if you have a very slight movement going on, it can be much easier to observe and sit with the feeling. Right? If you have a very slow movement, it can make a feeling much more tolerable.
That makes a lot of sense.
Right.
When we're moving, the brain thinks we're going towards safety.
Right. Yeah. Could well be that. It could well be that. And like another thing I started saying at times too, if someone's got a feeling and they're very locked down, right? You could imagine this, like you've got some feeling and you're very kind of locked down. I'll say, as you notice that feeling, just see if you can find a rhythm of the feeling. Just see if you can find a rhythm of it. You know, there might be like a gentle or like a very small, like backwards and forwards. Just see if you can find a rhythm that goes with that feeling. You notice that I'm starting to get rhythmic. I'm kind of rocking backwards and forwards. And people will often find like a gentle rhythm. And I'll say, right, just stay with that rhythm. And just observe the feeling staying with that rhythm. And then I might say, now just slow the rhythm down ever so slightly. And just observe it a little bit slower. And then gently let the rhythm speed up a little bit. And notice a little bit quicker. Right. Then I'll just say, and what are you noticing now? Very often there's like more of a relief, more of an acceptance, more of a sense of peace, this kind of thing. And so we did a few of these exercises and we weren't even working on, she didn't come for like a swimming phobia or like this, but we did it a few times. I said, what are you noticing now when you think about swimming? And she goes, it seems possible now. Like it seems possible that I could learn it. She's like, I don't feel relaxed. She goes, but it feels possible. Mm. And she goes, and I never would have said that before. I would have said it was completely impossible, but it feels possible now. And it's like, awesome. You know, that was like 10 minutes of 10 to 15 minutes of just doing this somatic work, right? And now it's like this, what seemed impossible now seems possible.
I mean, I love all this stuff you do, Al. I really do. Because you see, it took, what, 10, 50 minutes? You're getting, you know, ready, you're taking something into the realms of possibility. And I was following you there, and I'm feeling really relaxed.
Right.
It's like, well, I mean, yeah. I love this stuff because it's so, you know, for people watching this, I'll talk about myself here. I mean, it's so applicable and easy to apply to your work, your change work.
Right.
Love it.
And if I'm meditating or if I'm stuck on something, like I'll often I'll do like the controlling and I'll be arguing with myself and all this kind of stuff, right? But at some point, usually, eventually, some like common sense hits me and I slow down and maybe I put like a breathing rhythm on to breathe to or something like this and I get a little bit slower. And I may just find like a gentle rhythm that allows me to like be with some kind of difficult feeling that has come up just because of life, you know, just because there are struggles and difficulties and, you know, conflicts and all this kind of stuff. And I'm far from perfect. And so, you know, and so, God, what are you going to say?
Well, they're not perfect.
So, you know, and then I'll just explore. And what I love about this stuff is that it's exploratory. You know, I think there should be something about it where you're learning, you're discovering. It's like, oh, I can move like this for the feeling, and the feeling can move like that. And you know, I think you want to introduce some like exploration and flow, and that's what learning is. That's what growing is. That's what discovery is. You know, and I think that's a growing adventure is the name of the group that I run. I think it's because there's something discovery, adventurous kind of about it that there can be, and I think what a wonderful way to relate to yourself if you can get used to that.
It's very empowering as well. So if the client or I am exploring that anyway, I'm owning that. It's my discovery. I'm kind of saying, oh, I can do this. I think that's quite a subtle distinction, because the client's going, look, you're doing it. You did that. You can go away. So I'm a big believer when working with clients is giving them tools they can take away and use, so they don't become reliant on me. It's like, look, you're doing that. And I think it's a bit covert, but I'm saying I'm giving them back their power. I'm thinking, like, they become reliant on me. So no, you did that. You did that. I mean, I'm not trying to sack clients. It's more, they go, oh, so I think you get lasting change or better change outcomes.
Yeah.
Go, oh, I did that. I say, keep doing that. Keep doing that. Because let's face it, I think I think we both work with people with a lot of anxiety. There's this sense of being out of control, or things such as anxiety, and some people can be a bit compliant. Or the therapist. You say, no, you did that. And it's like, it's a nice. I love all. Yeah, this stuff's great.
Like I have a lot of clients too, maybe the majority of them, who look forward to sessions, because it's like it's enjoyable. It's I know we're dealing with difficult stuff, like but there's no reason why the learning process shouldn't be enjoyable.
I think it has to be enjoyable.
Yeah, right.
I mean, that's as we say, for this fantastic, massive fun and enjoyable,
incredibly popular.
I know.
Podcast to episode 2. We're already up to the thousands of views.
The award-winning. I love that. Anyway, I'm loving about this because I actually believe there's so much gold getting dropped. And nobody will ever probably see it. Fine, because I'm learning. I'm happy with this. It's like the best YouTube, the best kept secret.
Right. It's just for ourselves. We're just making the videos for ourselves.
Maybe in about 10 years' time, somebody might go through, go, oh my God. Right. I'll probably be in my grave by then,
Right. I'll have given up. I'll be an accountant. I'll be like, there wasn't enough money in this change work stuff.
Like the archives.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, it's good. Yeah, but you're right, it's fun, because that's why we said that. It's got to be enjoyable. And I think when we're having fun, it allows us to be, I'm speaking for myself here, it gives me the permission to be myself more, to explore, rather than going, right, Al, it's the way forward.
I agree.
I'm saying, I'm going to say the F word, you go like,
Right.
I'm going, fun, or the other one's forgiveness. It's always that. I'm saying, I'm going to say the F word, is that okay to go, okay, have fun doing this?
The way you should do it, Andy, you're going to get the F word, okay? So we're going to focus on the F word. I'm going to spell it out for you. F-U-N.
There is, because if you think about it, children are learning machines. They're working at the unconscious level to about 7 or 8, and also we get to like 7 or 8, we seem to have this. We have a sense of self. We get all serious and worried. But if you have fun, it allows you to do more. I think it's. I would call that the learning state, having fun, play.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm absolutely with you. Yeah. Just about. We're just trying to bottle it. That's all we're trying to do. Trying to bottle it somehow in our sessions. Yeah.
Are you old enough to remember? See, I keep saying that. I mean, remember the smell of Reeves and Mortimer, Vic?
I watched some Reeves and Mortimer stuff. like Shooting Stars and.
Well, you remember the one? Remember Tom Fun, one of his characters?
No, I don't know.
See, anybody watches? Well, me and you actually. I'll just check out Tom Fun, because it's totally out there, but I love it. He's one of my all-time heroes.
I'll YouTube it. Hey mate, we're at just gone past. So this has been a blast. Right. This has been a fun half hour. It's been a fun
Thanks
half hour.
to all the millions of viewers. We appreciate it.
Yeah. Love you so much, all the viewers. We totally appreciate all the views, and
all the likes, smash that subscribe button, whatever else.
If anyone does feel like pressing like, then please press. That's what you're supposed to say at the end, isn't it?
Yeah.
Press like, click subscribe.
And smash that subscribe, you haven't done already. And hit us for notifications. And comment below what you think.
There we go. See, you got it down, Andy.
That's the balance.
If these videos blow up now, it's going to be thanks to that moment just there.
Yeah, because we asked. We'll have to get a Patreon thing going as well.
Awesome. All right, mate. Lovely to speak. Amazing as ever. And we'll catch up next week for another half hour.
Next Monday. I can't do next Monday. I'm doing a training course, but
okay.
Maybe we could do 10 at night or sometime, you know.
I'll be in bed, mate. That's my bedtime. I'll be tucked up with a novel at that time. We meet in the middle. We could do a lunchtime. We could do 12, maybe.
Like that. Hey, there you go. See? Compromise.
Compromise. All right.
Right, my son. Great to see you. And till next week.
Yeah, till next week, mate. I'll be in touch. We'll find a day that works. All right. Take it easy, mate. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye.